What's up guys, my name is Andy. In this video, I'm going to be replacing the points ignition system on my F100 to the popular electronic ignition system from Pertronix. Now this is something that is one of the easiest modifications, upgrades we can do to our truck, to our vehicles. I've done this on 3 other vehicles, put the same unit in. It really is a set it and forget it kind of a setup. I don't have to worry about adjusting the points on this truck anymore. I'm going to put this in. I don't even need to worry about putting a top dead center for cylinder number 1, none of that kind of stuff. We can just take the distributor cap off, take the old guts out for the point system, put this in, set the distance, put the cap back on, hook up the wires, and we're done. I mean, it really is really simple. So let's jump right in. We're gonna go ahead and take the distributor cap off. We can just get this out of the way for right now. And pull this guy off there. Hold on to this because we're gonna need to put this back on. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take out this screw, take out that screw back there, and take out that screw. And we're gonna leave this ground wire, this little guy right here, we're gonna leave that in there. Now you want to hold on to these screws. In fact, hold on to all this stuff that you're going to take out of here, because if you ever need to go back to the point system for whatever reason, then you'll still have the parts that you'll need to put it back together. And push this through the side. Now we need to disconnect the rest of this from the coil so we can get this system out of here. And actually, to get to the terminals on here, I'm just going to just take the coil off of the intake manifold just so I can get to everything. Then I can put it back on there. We're going to take this wire off of the negative terminal because that's the rest of this system here. There we go. Again, hold on to this. There's no reason to get rid of it, but we're not going to need any of this stuff anymore. And we do want to just clean this surface up a little bit because we're going to make sure the ground is still contacting good and everything's nice and clean in here. We don't really need to go through and move anything or change anything in here. We just need to get just kind of any of the loose stuff out of the way and just clean it up a little bit. So this is the stuff. This is the part number that you're going to want for this, and what you get inside here is what we need. So we've got the actual electronic system in here. I believe this works off of a Hall effect sensor to get from, when this magnet comes around and it triggers this, it sets that off. Unfortunately, I don't know all the details on that stuff, but that's all right, I don't need to. And what we need in here is this little guy right here. This is what sets the gap, sets the distance between this sensor and this little magnet wheel that's going to ride on the distributor. And so we're going to set that and use this as a gauge, and then we can, for positioning that. And also you've got the terminals in here that we're going to want to put on this. And for now, I'm actually not going to cut these to length. I actually plan to move the coil down the road. All right, those are ready to go. And we're going to reuse, so actually what it comes with is, there was those fasteners that we had that were holding everything down. It came with a new one. I might as well use the new stuff. I'll just keep the old stuff on the side. And then this is going to be for the terminals on the coil. The plugs I had on there were like the push kind that just push onto the threads. But with this setup, I can't do that anymore. So it comes with the nuts for those terminals, which is fantastic. All right, now the wires are wrapped. We could put this in the truck. So we're gonna fish these through. Now some distributors have like a slot right here, and you can just drop it in the slot, but this actually has a hole, so we'll feed it through there. There we go. And I'm gonna route this back behind the distributor because we're gonna hook it up to the coil. Again, I'm going to move that coil down the road, but for now we'll just try to clean it up, make it look nice. And then this piece on here, so this little bump right here is actually going to fit in this old screw hole, and it'll pivot on that point right there. And then it's going to go back and forth and pivot like this when we set the distance, and this ground wire has to go on top. We'll put that new screw through here. And we don't need to tighten it all the way yet. We want to just get it snug so it'll hold in place, because we still got to set the distance for this thing to pivot back and forth. There we go. Now this magnet wheel here, this doesn't need to go any certain way. You can just put it on there. There's 4 little kind of cutouts, and there's little shapes in here. There's 8 sides to this, and so we just need to just line it up there. We'll just slide right over and push it down. Okay, now we're going to take that little gauge piece for setting the distance here, and we're just going to want to push this. You're going to, again, pivot it on that little button, that little bump on the bottom there. Pivot it on that, and then we're going to just push it up against here, and then tighten the screw down. Okay, now we can put everything back together. Now for the coil, pretty simple. Black wire goes to the negative side, the red wire goes to the positive side. And because I had that kind of push connector, I gotta just use the included nuts that come with it. Now for the positive side, depending on what you've got going on, see what I've got here is this doesn't go on all the way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take the other nut that's supplied with this kit, put it on here, and then push this lead on top of the threads. And now we'll put this guy in here. Now this is not the best way. I really need to, I'm gonna change my mind. This isn't gonna sit on here good enough. I'm gonna turn this to a ring terminal and just put it underneath here. Okay, there we go. Now we got them both on here. There. And before I put that coil back in, this is kind of cool. It's got one of these engine tags. It says 360, this says 68. Can't quite read the rest of this stuff, but this is kind of cool. You don't really see this stuff anymore. It usually gets lost somewhere along the way. But I think this is a 8DK 300J. So some of you guys probably know how to decipher that, but kind of fun. I'm gonna put it back on there while we put that coil back in that spot. Now we're just gonna put this back on. It only goes on one way. Slide that on there, and then we just put the cap back on. And there, we're done. Let's fire up the truck and make sure that, that everything works. So guys, a super simple upgrade. This is one of those things that now I don't have to worry about those points ever needing to be adjusted for different weather, different times of year. I had a car in the past where the points went out on me and I just could not get them adjusted. So I put that Pertronix system in there and I never had a problem again. Then I put it in my next car, Now we're putting this, this is my 4th vehicle with it. It just worked. It's set it and forget it. You don't have to worry about anything. I really like that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's getting kind of away from how things used to be, and we're losing a little bit of that, how to adjust the points thing, but this is something that, you know, we're not going from carbureted to fuel injected where we're losing some of that stuff. Putting this electronic ignition in there is, it's almost a no-brainer. It's just super simple, super easy to do. It's not that expensive, and it's just gonna run and work from here on out, which I really like that kind of stuff. Cool, easy project. All right guys, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, and if you subscribe, I appreciate it because it helps my channel out, and we'll see you in the next one.